Let you know, man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help
What's
me
going on,
out.
family? You guys are so amazing. I'm Mr. AOS Inspires. Welcome to another episode of Aos The Podcast. Listen. Every time I get on this mic, I'm gonna say I'm excited because listen. I'm gonna just keep it all the way honest and transparent with you guys. I run to the mic to the studio when it's time to record episodes because I love recording episodes because I love chopping them down and then giving you guys some amazing videos that I truly believe that'll help you get to the next level. I told you that our mission here at AOS Inspires, AOS The Podcast, is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life and get to the next level. I get crazy excited because we get some amazing topics. Sometimes the topics really come from life, things that has happened in our life, in my life, things that you guys talk about in the comments or things that you inboxes about, or just major questions. But on today, I'm gonna be honest with you. And you guys see the thumbnail, you guys see all the titles and everything. But I was going to make this an AOS note. But I said that no, I need to make it a whole episode. Why? Because this is a major topic that I want to linger on just a little bit. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit further. I wanted to make it a little longer. Because the AOS notes most times are short forms. But I wanted to make this just a little bit longer because I wanted to sit with you all for a while. I wanted to sit with you all for a while so that you guys, because I get it. I get it. And I'm doing an AOS note this week. Check it out this week, talking about helping content creators because some of y'all get in the funk. And I want to help you get out that funk. But this particular funk that some people are in, I just want to share personally. I just got to say this: replace the whole tire. And the reason I say replace the whole tire, watch this. Have you ever had a hole in your tire before? Right? And generally, I just recently had a hole in my tire. When I went outside one morning, and I had a hole in my tire. So this is pretty much where I got the podcast from. I got a hole in my tire. And I looked at it, I said, shucks. And what I did was, because I had a hard time in previous months with my tires, right? With another vehicle. And I bought this tire pump from Walmart, and I left it in a car. So this particular morning, I pumped it up. It pumped up no problem, right? And it wasn't going down at all. But I saw a nail in my tire. I was like, okay, cool, all right. So I took it to the shop, and I said, do we need to replace it or do we need to plug it? And he said that you can just plug it because it's in a pluggable space. So I said, can all tires get plugs? He said, no. Sometimes you got to replace the whole tire. And it gave me something to talk to you guys about. Why is that? Because oftentimes you get a hole in your tire, right? And if it's in the wrong place, you have to replace the whole tire. However, made me think about you all. Like, you get to a place in your life where you get a hole in your life, and that hole represents issues. That hole in your life represents trauma, problems that you're dealing with in your life, right? So all you do is put a plug in there. And what is that significant to life? You put a plug in there, you go out to drink, right? You go out drinking, or you go out smoking, or you're the type that has an issue in life and you go out trying to find some random person to have sex with. Let's really be honest. Like, one night stands is okay in your book, right? That's because you have this hole, you put a plug there. That's your plug, right? And the truth of the matter is, they say that plugs will last the in duration of the tire life. It'll last. It's good. You don't got to worry about a plug. But if the hole is in the wrong place, you can't put a plug there. You have to replace the whole tire. But many of you don't want to replace the tire in life. All you want to do is put a plug or complain about it. That's why I want to sit for just a few minutes while I have your attention, right? I get it. Life is difficult. Life is let's really be honest. Like, life is really, really hard sometimes, right? Like, you can be at a place where you're trying to get over that hump, but it's like, shucks, I can't get over the hump. Like, it seems as if, and I experienced this before. I experienced where it seemed as if every time I took 4 steps forward, I took 20 steps back. Like it's like no matter how hard I work, it seems as if can we be honest? It seems as if, okay, I get my account out the negative, right? So my account is not negative anymore. Then when I look back again, another big transaction hit. Now I'm back in the negative. Now I got to keep on hustling. Now, the average person, if that happens, they would just give up or they'll start crying and complaining. I kept going. Why? Because this is another thing I want to share with you guys. You need to have what are you working for? You need to have your end goal in front of you, right? So like on my phone right now, I'm going to show you guys. On my phone right now, I have my son. You can see it. Bam, there we go. I got my son. Like he is one of my biggest inspirations to life. Right? My children are, but at this particular time, he was born, I just took a great picture of him, right? Because I don't want y'all be getting so deep. Y'all be like, oh, why you ain't got your other kids up there? I just took that good picture. But I have my son there because he's a representation of all my children, right? And my children is my main motivation. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give him a shout out. I told you, whenever I take something from yours, I give you the shout out. I give you credit first time, second time. I'm taking credit for it. But David Shan's a Social Proof podcast, he said this, and it stuck with me, right? It really stuck with me, and it pierced my heart because when he first said it, I was like, nah, this is what he said. He said that if you, in fact, don't want to be rich, you're selfish. So now I begin to think about it. Like, and the truth be told, I want to be wealthy, and I'm striving to have that type of wealth that is just passed down from generation to generation. Like we're building a legacy, right? That's the type of wealth that I want to leave and I want to have. I want to acquire, right? Not just for tangible. I get to that in a minute. But when he said that, I was like, but I've met people that would say, I don't want to be rich. I just want to live comfortably. And I could, at that point, before my mind shifted, right? Shout out to Social Proof. My mindset have shifted. Listen to these guys; they're amazing, Donnie and David. But he said that if you don't want to be rich, you're selfish. So as I began to think about that thing, I'm like, hold on. If you don't want to be rich, you're selfish. And I heard many of you feel like that now, but I promise you when I say what I say and explain how I feel that the phrase means, you're going to change your point of view as well. So he said that if you don't want to be rich, you're selfish. I've heard this years and years, and people say this all the time. I don't want to live to be rich. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be able to do what I want to do, right? You're selfish. And the reason you're selfish, because all you're thinking about is you. If you don't want to be rich, you're selfish. And the reason I say that is because all you think about is you. That's it. If you don't want to be rich, you are selfish. Because as long as you're okay, you're fine with that, that's selfish. What about the other people that may need help? What about family? You don't want to make sure your mom is retired? Really think about this. Many of you have access to change people's lives, and you have the potential, and you have the drive. You don't have the drive. You have the potential, and you have the skill set. Like you have what it takes to change your family's lives, but you won't do it because you're selfish. As long as I'm cool, as long as I can buy my house, as long as I can buy one of my dream cars, as long as I can take a vacation once a year, you're selfish. Like you don't want to make sure that your mom don't have to lift a finger for the rest of her life. You don't want to make sure that your dad is set for the rest of his life. You don't want to make sure that your children are good if you die tomorrow. You're selfish. If you don't want to be rich, are selfish. Because many of you will say, all I want to do is be comfortable. That's selfish. You don't want to help nobody else out. You don't want to look out for nobody else. Like, how can you look at yourself in the mirror to say, hey, I don't want to deal with those problems. I just want to have enough money, right? Work my job to pay my bills, right? Maybe go out to eat every now and then. And I'm cool with that. You're selfish. I need you to start retracting and changing your mindset and take an evaluation. Because the truth of the matter is, you can't change somebody's life when you're just living comfortable or you're just getting by yourself. You can't change nobody's life. Let's get back. right? Change the whole tire. What good will misery do for you? That's a big one. What good will misery do for you? Many of you, life has created this hole in your tire, and it's in a place where you can't change it. You can't just put a plug there or put a patch there and it's good. No, the patch or the plug, it won't sit, won't stay. You need to replace the whole tire. But many of you, listen, many of you wake up every morning complaining about life. I'm broke. Yeah, everything that you say, you are. Notice that. Now, I'm not the one to say, oh, all you got to do is just keep on saying it and it happened. I don't believe that. But I believe that you have to have the right words to speak out your mouth, the right affirmations. But then I also believe that you got to put some actions behind the words that you're saying. You can't just wake up, I'm going to be a millionaire. Yeah, today, I'm going to be a millionaire. And you just wake up and go to the basement or go to your family room and play the video game all day. Nah, it ain't going to work like that. Puffy ain't going to just like, hey, can't stop, won't stop. Here's $1 billion. Here's $1 million. Here's $500,000. Do your thing. It's not going to happen like that. This is a major one. I wanted to hold this for a podcast, but I'm going to tell you now. The reason many of you cannot become a millionaire, or the reason many of you won't get the opportunity to get money dropped in your lap, is because you're not mentally prepared to handle that type of weight. Like watch this, and I'm gonna show you this. How many people or how many stories have you seen people won the lottery, and in that first year they went broke or bankrupt because they weren't mentally ready to prepare that weight? They weren't mentally prepared to handle that weight. They couldn't handle it. Like they thought that the money wouldn't run out. That's why I tell you, keep following this podcast, especially if you want your relationship to grow or you want your entrepreneurship world to grow, right? You have to begin to prepare yourself step by step along the journey, because this is a great thing. I can't stand that people, they pray for something. I want this. God, please bless me with this. And it comes and you lose it because you weren't a good steward along the way to be able to be in position to handle when it comes. And many of you can really be honest and be like, listen, I want to be a millionaire, but if $1 million came in my pocket right now, I wouldn't handle it correctly. But I'm learning. Like, I can honestly say if millions dropped in my lap right now or the opportunity came, I'm in a position now mentally, I'm ready to handle it. Why? Because I've been preparing myself, right? You move from dollars to hundreds, from hundreds to thousands, from thousands to millions. That's why I have countless examples. You have so many athletes that they weren't ready or mentally able to handle it. Watch this. There were some people that wasn't mentally able to handle it, but they put themselves around the right people. Floyd Money Mayweather, right? He prepared himself. He had himself in the atmosphere of the right people that can point him and help him and direct him in the right direction. Now, Floyd Money Mayweather, outside of his money, he owns 6 skyscrapers in New York. That only comes when you're in the right room. But you'll never get to the right room. Why? Because you want to be miserable. Because you want to put a patch on the tire when you really need to replace the whole tire. Like, this podcast should do some numbers. Like, this is good. Like I want you to change your tire. Change it. Right? Stop. Listen. Many of y'all need to replace your tire, but you're so cheap that you don't want to buy a new tire, which is only, $100 at most, right? For most cars. You know, if you're too cheap to change your tire, I know you ain't driving no foreign. I know that for a fact. Foreign is going to be at least $300 and up, $300 or more, right? But you're so cheap that you don't want to change your tire. The only thing you're doing is keep on putting air in the tire. And it'll stay inflated for a while, but over time it would deflate, and you got to put air in that thing every single day. And eventually what's going to happen is the wires that's in the tire is going to poke out. Why? Because it's not being properly cared for. And that's how your life is. You're complaining every single day because you're not in position or in the place that you really want to be. You're selfish, you're self-centered, you don't think about nobody else but yourself. Why? Because you won't change the tire. I want to encourage you on today, change your tire. How do you change your tire? You change your tire by what do you feed yourself? I'm not talking about physical food. I'm talking about, what do you listen to all day? Do you listen to music all day and then wonder why you always sexually act or you horny? It's because of what you deposit into your spirit. What are you depositing into your ears? What are you depositing into your head? All day long, this will be the fruit of what you consume. What you consume will be the very thing that you act on, period. But I want you to start consuming some good stuff that's going to help you with self-development, that's going to help you prepare for what you really want. Change your tire. Like, don't just, listen, stop being cheap. Don't go to the used tire place. Go to the brand new tire place. Cheap is really expensive, and expensive is really cheap. Why do you say that? Because when you go cheap, you got to buy it again and again and again and again. But when you go expensive, you buy it one time. And that usually lasts. Unless you do some crazy stuff and damage it, they got to buy it again. But if you use it like it's supposed to be used, it lasts. Change your whole tire, man. I'm done. Change your whole tire. I love you guys. I don't even want to close with no commercial because I want you to feel this. Change your whole tire.